Okay, welcome back. I completely lost track of time while I was rambling. Okay, so the the transmutation of the energies. Okay, so That's why this is so important. If you ignore the wound, it's just gonna fester and get gross. Okay, if you pay attention, you can bring it in and say, okay, how are we gonna conduct this? How are we gonna work with this? How are we gonna play with this energy that we've been gifted? Time to stop running, time to stop rejection, and say, how can I transform, transmute, and transfer this energy into something that's going to serve humanity rather than parasite it? It's so easy. It's so easy. Okay? You just got to step out of that fear. And then I don't even want to say love because I don't think human beings get what that word means. So I try not to use it too much because we really have no sense of it. When you can't get safe and sovereign in your own body, in your own skin, what are you bringing to the rest of the world? You're giving from a place of depletion. How the hell are you going to be any way, shape, or form knowledgeable about what love actually is? And it's not that stupid movie. Okay. See what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm like, okay, we have opportunities here. Let's. Okay? So take the anger, the pissedness, the like yummy fuel they're giving us right now. Okay? And we don't feed them back with anything. We don't feed it at all. We say, thank you, darling. I'm going to go clean my stove. I'm going to go rearrange the jar collection. I'm going to, I don't know. I'm going to make a vision board today. I'm going to, I'll go through my craft drawers. I'm going to, itch my nose till it falls off, apparently. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to clean out the tool shed, going to clean out the garage, going to, everything. Just redirect the energy into your environment and say, this no longer has control over my life. I decide how this energy conducts itself in my environment, and this is how I'm going to transmute, transfer, and transform. Okay? This is why I get kind of pissy with people who are like, you just need to get into the alchemy of it. You know, the real alchemy. You need to work with actual elements. It's like, okay, that might be for some people, and that's okay. But like for feminine, we move the energy. We control the energy. We've just been not allowed to believe that. We've been allowed to be slaves to the energy. This is why they want us in charge of all their emotional, mental, psychological states. Over inundate us with so much crap to do that we can't even perceive our own existence. Breathe through that one, okay? Can't even perceive our own existence. That's the whole goal. When you can't see yourself, are you going to hold yourself in any way, shape, or form, much less worthy or whatever word you're looking for? Nope. That's the whole goal. That's the whole goal, is to con you out of your own autonomy, sovereignty, sacredness, whatever you want to call it, divinity, um, humanity even. So just when you have the opportunity to get so much energy from a giant freaking movement, don't waste it. Don't waste it. When you know somebody hates you, rather than being like, oh, I reject it, be like, thanks. Thanks. Uni, see this down here, right here? I'm talking to it. All this hatred right here is gonna go into whatever. It's gonna go into my bank account. It's gonna go into helping whatever. It's gonna go into the cat shelter. That's energy. Move it with your intent, rather than going, no, Oh, thanks for that. I'll transmute that for you. That's how we operate. That's how we can operate. That's how we can choose to operate. Okay, so rather than holding on to those things, which you will get sick from that. People sending you negative, bad energy that you're not transmuting constantly will make you sick. Absolutely. Yep. And hate is so common. This is why I don't think we have a comprehension of what love is on the planet yet. I don't think we have one iota of comprehension of what love. Because if we did, we would be in different circumstances. Everybody would be under different circumstances, and we would have some sort of light that says, hey, this actually works. When nothing does. Nothing does. And no, I don't want to hear about Sweden. Okay? That's the whole thing. Is we are so busy fending off all of the hate when we're directing the hate in the wrong direction. And they're banking on that. Literally banking on it. They're banking on the misdirection of anger. Rightfully so, to the people who are jerking every chain they possibly can right now. So just remember, it's a gift. It really is. When somebody's going to put that much time, attention, and energy into trying to control and manipulate you, do you know how powerful that makes you? So fucking, bitch, own it. Be like, thank you. I know I'm that powerful. Let me transform this into a better community. Let me get more people safe in their body. Let me go out and help blah, 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 blah today. Let me, whatever, fix my neighbor's broken, whatever. Okay? Plant a garden. Do something. Don't let that opportunity pass you by. It's free energy. Literally free energy. Use it. Use it. Okay? Transmute it first before you put it into use. Otherwise it could go haywire. But say thank you for your free donation of Anima J. I'm going to put it over here in this little section of my life. And then I'll welcome in the benefits for collecting that energy. Okay. Yep. So it's just a recall of, okay, thank you for your time, attention, and energy of hatred, and I'm gonna put your glorious little stuff in some sort of area of life that requires it. I know you're not gonna get any more of my time, attention, and energy. You're gonna get my observation, but my energy is mine. You see, it's all these different levels that you can change things up on, right? All these different levels. And a lot of times for especially females, it's easier to work with the energy, and we want to leave the physical realm to the men. Unfortunately, we can't do that right now. Because the men are still benefiting off of this slavery system. And until they realize they're not, and I think they just switched, they're not going to attack white people anymore. Dude, it don't matter. Your lid's blown, dude. You're just looking to genocide the Pol Pot. And we didn't really have a clear-cut image into that until what happened. It is not about status in the community. It is not about skin tone in the community. It is about these people in the streets unwilling to be slaves to a corrupt system. And somehow that makes them less worthy of being here. So why not? Okay, that's another thing you need to get yourself straight on. You gotta be really careful about what you believe. That bone deep stuff, man, it'll show up. And right now with the energies, that's gonna flip on you. It's gonna flip on your head, and you do not need that raining down. Okay, so get right with right here. and say, okay, just because XYZ is blah, 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 it doesn't make that person undeserving or less than or whatever it is. So get your self-worth in line, because oftentimes when you believe that, there's something in your system that's telling you the exact same thing, which is why you're afraid to let go of the system, because the system is upholding your idea, which is probably somewhere in greed, rooted in there somewhere, that greed equals worthiness. That's what society tells us. That's the programming. Again, I'm not trying to make you feel bad or call you out and say we all did it. Okay, we all did it. I'm not letting myself off the hook, so to speak, for this, because I spent 40 years of my life busting my tail. So at some points I had 3 jobs. So no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying detach from it, let it go, and say, okay, I am free to choose a different pathway. I'm free to choose different. I'm free to see the world through new eyes, free to be exactly who I need to be here without having to slave to a system that's only going to demand all of my time, attention, and energy that brought in whatever income it was to give away to another master. Okay, so this, breathe through it. It's aggravating as fuck. I'm feeling that way, lady. You can get mad. You can totally get mad. Okay, but just direct it correctly. Harness it. Treat it like like it was a horse who is a little bit pissed off. Ooh. Speak gently to yourself. Okay, radical, fierce self-compassion here. This is what I talk. It's not about stepping into the guilt and the shame, because those are, you can manipulate yourself with guilt and shame, by the way. You can totally do that. That's typically how things like this happen, is we are conditioned to control and manipulate ourselves with our guilt and our shame. And if that hit real hard, you might be an addict. Because that's typically the mindset of an addict, is guilt and shame, guilt and shame, guilt and shame. And they're just trying to get the fuck out of it and numb it down. And then they succeed in that, and then they become the person that's numb. And then, do you see what lovely little loop is created there? Okay? So, and again, those are people that have been robbed of their position in the community. It no longer exists. They don't have access to it. They have no idea. They're searching through spiritual endeavors, seeking this, that, and the other thing, and they're not finding it. Why? Because it's totally suppressed, and it has a lot of times it's like medicine we're not allowed to talk about. Medicine that we don't have access to, and medicine that is actually healing. It actually works, and that involves getting safe in the body. And that's why this whole system works the way it does. Okay? So, when we can look at nature and comprehend that every single being in nature has a purpose, we are no different. We are no different than that. We're no different than the ants that have, they take care of the queen, or they go get the resources for food, or the resources for building. They're moving and shaking the building, whatever the heck it is. Every single solitary being on the planet serves a purpose. Go look up what happens when you take a queen out of its hive. Just go look it up. No, I'm not going to tell you. Go look it up. Go look it up. So when we have a paradigm that is crumbling before us, the answer is not going to be found on the interwebs or on whatchamacallit. the answer has to come in here. Whatever you're feeling needs to be served is what needs to be served. It's not a notion of, well, the financial experts say this. No, it doesn't matter what any experts say at this point, because they've all been indoctrinated by the same people running the system. Okay. So, getting that safety in the body, and then coming up with a clear plan of how you want to go. Okay, so this is a good year to be like, all right, if I were to kick the bucket at some point, am I at least on the way to living the life I actually desire? Driving that boat forward, and just being really mindful not to let narratives take you over. Okay, just be really mindful of that, because they're going to coerce you into taking action that's violent rather than based in any sort of wisdom. So wisdom comes with comprehension that, like, there's never been a need for violence in any circumstance. But they'll create it, and they'll fester it and foster it and just continue to shove it in our faces until we feel like we don't have another option. Okay, so just come into the safety of the body and go, okay, there's a lot of smart people on this planet. A lot of smart people on the planet. We can see what's going on and we can adjust accordingly. And we don't have to form groups yet, because the groups are going to be infiltrated, remember? They'll send out their little minions. Okay? This is us being sovereign and wise in our own system without having to rely on outside sources. This is the death of authority and hierarchy. We are being instructed at this very moment to stay sovereign, stay autonomous, stay authentic, and stay in our own freaking lane, because we're just going to get overrun by infiltrators. We know that. That's the beautiful thing, is like we can stand separately together, totally harmoniously and in peace, rather than having to deal with this riffraff. See? So, leaving that where it is, and then directing the energy where you want it to go. It's so easy and it's delightful, because you get to play like you're a little kid. You get to explore. Okay, well, I have this really... I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm pissed, I need to... Okay. Whatever it is. Crank the tool and pump out some art. Isn't that the white woman way? Crank the tool and pump out some art? I'm pretty sure. At least the general consensus in my community is that you crank the tool and you pump out some art. Maybe some Perfect Circle or Simplifier, but mostly tool. What else? I think that's it. And use colors as meaning. You can incorporate crystals or plants, whatever you want, into your art. Use that. Invite other energies into your alchemy system. Okay, it's not about like how do I put this? It's not that you're thinking that you're doing it alone, but when you realize that you have happy little helpers all over the place, it helps produce a I can't remember the chemical in the body, but it produces a collaborative neural pathway in the brain, and I cannot remember what the hell the chemical is. But if you call in other energies to begin to work with you, when it is time to come out and be a part of the community, the acclimation will be much easier if you are used to calling on things for help. This is why people love Scarface Sky Daddy so much. It's energetic. Okay, so just remember that you don't need to worship. Okay, you don't need to hear vessel to war in order to live here. That's not a requirement, okay? And you don't need to tell some dude that he needs to get offed in the most horrific way possible so that you have a shot at salvation. Oh, oofta. Okay. So so drop that narrative and say, okay, I am willing to be supported in this. I'm willing to open up to support. I'm willing to be observing of where I find support and where it's reciprocated and where I don't find support and I'm kind of left out of. So begin to navigate those feelings, thoughts, and emotion, because once this fire horse year kicks off, things are going to come in fast. So have those energies kind of memorized by that, and you've got until like February 20th, so you're okay yet. Try to start memorizing those energetic patterns. When you call in something, does it help or does it harm? Heal or harm, heal or harm, heal or harm. Okay, getting to that memorization. Choices, consequences. Okay, so if you fail, you're not going to be like, oh my god, nope, it was a lesson. It was a lesson. Step out of the guilt and shame. Choices, consequences. Harming, healing. Okay? Okay, so if it didn't actually harm anybody and it just kind of failed and flopped, nobody's hurt. Nobody's harmed by that. You learned a lesson. Well, that's not how you do it. Well, this isn't the right system for me. This isn't how it's gonna, whatever the heck it is. Okay? Or hey, you know what? This is working out really great for me. I am so glad that I found this system when I did, because had I found it back there, I probably would have just totally mucked it up. Oh! See, all these things come into play. So start playing, start getting curious, start expanding, start exploring, start getting into a childlike wonder rather than an adult integrated fearful nervous system. Just okay. So remembering that, you know, the system's already collapsed. It's just a matter of how much we hold on to it. How much do you need this for your suffering karmic record? What do you want to tell the cosmos about this? Do you want to put out to the cosmos, I'm finished with suffering, I'm finished with this mindset, I'm finished with this system, or I'm going to death grip this because I can't figure any other way to be safe in the world. I haven't gained access to those points yet, so you might want to start sifting through that to find those access points for yourself. Okay. I'm going to cut this one, and then, yeah, I gotta... Okay? I love you. Until next time, keep your flame.